let's make it a little bit more engaging. While we will talk with Tegmina about all different things, if you have any thoughts, just we will ask you something. Feel free to type it in the chat so we know that you're here, you're with us.
Yeah. So, welcome to the session on emotional intelligence. A warm welcome to everyone from Marina and I. It's wonderful to have you all with us today. So, let me give a brief introduction about ourselves. I am Tahmina Shariar. I'm a life coach at Polaris, your guiding star. I have over 13 years of training experience and hold a certification in CBT and psychology. I work as a partner to help people connect with themselves to live a happier life. I am joined by Marina Bareva today. She's an international speaker and coach that helps entrepreneurs build their influence and create a fulfilling life with purpose. Is that correct, Marina?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for a wonderful introduction, Tegmina.
Okay, so let me tell a little bit more about Marina. She's a TEDx speaker and has presented to audiences in Asia and North America. Also has been featured in media such as Art People, CCTV, China Radio International, and others. We are also joined by participants, and we would like them to be contributive here. As Marina said, your presence signifies a great milestone today as it shows your willingness to embark on the journey of self-awareness. So, Marina, how would you like to welcome the participants here?
I'm so happy that you're joining us today, and thank you so much for your time. It's our privilege to host this event for you and to make it more useful. Like, we would challenge your thinking a little bit today. So while we talk about, we have this discussion, if there's something resonates with you, or you would want to have a breakthrough on something in your life, maybe related to our topic or something similar. After we finish the discussion, we're going to have the questions and answers. Yeah, and then you can put this into a chat box and we either talk or maybe I can answer your questions.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I guess we can start.
Yeah. So, Marina, let's start with, what is emotional intelligence? A lot of people here asked that, what is the meaning of emotional intelligence? How come we don't understand this concept? So, what do you think? What is your point of view about emotional intelligence?
So, emotional intelligence is like tech word, and that's the phrase which you don't usually use. If you put it in simple words, is the ability to understand, manage, and use your emotions in positive ways to deal with different situations in life. For example, to deal with your stress, to deal in communication with people, with challenges, to defining how you will live your life.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So I did some research and got to know that the emotional intelligence first appeared to the masses, in contrary to the IQs. The people used to focus on the IQ levels before emotional intelligence emerged. So this was the differentiating point. They came up to know that the main source of differentiating factor between different people who achieve a great sense of achievement in their life or live a happier life as compared to others are basically those who have a higher sense of emotional intelligence. So coming to that, I would like to, introduce a little bit theoretically that there are 4 components here, as you can see on the slides, what I see and what I do. So you can say personal competence, consisting of self-awareness and self-management, then social competence consisting of social awareness and relationship management. So Marina, as we say that quality of our thoughts impact how we relate to experiences in the world. That's a saying by Aaron T. Beck. He's a CBT therapist. So what do you think? How our quality of our thoughts can impact our life, or how emotional intelligence can contribute to becoming more self-aware? As we know, self-aware is one of the stages of emotional intelligence.
Yeah, so if you think about emotional intelligence as the science on how to use these emotions, right? We think about self-awareness in the context of understanding yourself.
Yeah.
And why you do what you do.
Yeah.
How you do it. Why there's limiting beliefs that happen in your life, of how they affect your life, what you can do with them, and
Yes.
actually even notice that. That's interesting. A few days ago, I shared something on LinkedIn, and people are like, yes, you need to have self-awareness, but you also need to know that you don't have it. If you
correct.
don't know what to pay attention to, how you can be aware
Yeah.
of this?
Yeah, exactly.
That's why you do this. Like, the more you understand yourself, the more you start creating your life from that perspective. Yeah, I will usually react to the situation that way, but I don't want it that way. I want it differently. And then you can change it from your perspective, instead of just blaming, oh,
Yeah.
that's the government's fault, oh, this is my boss' fault, or this is my employee's fault,
Yeah.
or anyone else.
Yeah. One of our favorite topics, I would say.
Yeah. And it's very interesting, because when you start noticing those things, you can actually see that the way you lived could be different.
Yeah.
And
Totally
even
true.
like a little shift in that will change it.
Right. So I consider this first stage of emotional intelligence, which is self-awareness, as the key to living a happy and a productive life. What do you think?
Absolutely. And when we think about life, there are so many ways to use self-awareness and learn about it. But there are three things that actually can help you to be more aware from where you are, no matter where you are, and just like observe these things and actually have the breakthroughs or achieve more things. So one thing is the ability to handle no's.
Yeah, definitely.
When you ask for something, or
Yes.
when someone gives you their opinion,
Yeah.
and it may be negative,
Yes.
or you do something and you know that someone can reject you. This is the ability to handle those no's.
Yeah.
If
True.
you like, there's a thing that you can get almost anything in life if you're able to get many no's.
Very true.
Because the process is going to be the asking and doing the work and seeing the results and learning from that.
Yeah.
A lot of people stay where they are because they don't even try, because they're afraid of that rejection. That's interesting. And there's a lot of fear behind this. Fear of rejection is
Yes.
this thing that I'm not good enough, stops people from so many things.
Yes.
Like, for example, you're our dear guest, like, think which situations, which area of your life would you like to be able to be more confident? Because the ability to handle no's comes with confidence.
Yes.
Can you write for us in the chat, please, so we also see that?
Yeah. Do share your opinions here in the chat box. We are looking forward to it.
And when you are able to manage those no's and manage your reaction on those rejections, then you can just keep asking and keep working. There's an interesting TEDx talk was given by Dadzian. So he found out that he is afraid of the rejections. So he was like, I want to manage that, and I want to be bulletproof. So he set himself on the project of getting rejected every day.
Yeah,
because it's a habit.
that's the best way. Very true.
It's anything that understanding yourself, anything that you want to develop for yourself, it's just a new habit, like walking, like eating. So he done 100 days of rejections, and then he gave a TEDx talk, and now he teaches others how to handle this rejection. So what are those small things that you can start practicing with to manage those no's?
Yeah.
And then another thing that you may practice to be more aware with is by being able to say yes to the things what matters to you.
Yeah.
What often happens, especially between women, because
Yeah.
we live in the female-dominated society, and sometimes the woman voice is a little bit shy, or women tolerate with this, where you can see the important things for you. Taking care of yourself, of your emotions, picking the work and job that you want and like. Like one of the reasons why where women get less paid than men, because they don't ask.
Yeah. True. Very
Or
true.
if someone offer them the raise, they're like, no, we shouldn't get this money. It's their
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah. Exactly. As if it's
So
a harmful thing. We shouldn't be getting enough money.
absolutely. So see the situations in life where you need to learn saying yes. They're difficult questions for people, like, what do you want? And what do you feel?
Yes. Exactly. You know, my life experience and learnings from human behaviors has shown that quite often we fail to understand the meaning of life because it's viewed subjectively with lesser emphasis on self-awareness. We actually live a major part of our life understanding the reactions and emotions of others instead of ourselves. So that's the reason that we focus on others' emotions. And ever wonder, we don't even wonder why. That is the result of lack of self-love, I would say, or not knowing how to love yourself. Just as we got a question that what are the elements which help us to know we are self-aware or not. Exactly, as Marina said before earlier, that we don't even know, do we actually want to be self-aware, or is there anything to know about ourselves? Because actually we think that understanding the emotions of others mean that I actually know a lot about myself, because it's not like that. And we actually confuse these two concepts. So what are your thoughts about self-love, Marina?
And this is the third element which people can actually practice.
Yeah.
Self-love is very important. And there's this distinction between self-love and selfishness.
Yeah.
Where self-love is taking care about yourself, and often it's taking care about yourself first, where you understand which is important to how to keep your life balanced, happy. That's your job to make yourself happy, not someone else's job.
Exactly.
How to be balanced in giving and receiving, whether it's emotions or stuff, because they all come together. And when you do this in a healthy way, you as well as others who surround you will bloom. Everyone will grow, everyone will feel that positivity and empowerment. Where the selfishness is taking care about yourself first with the expense of someone else.
Yeah. So
If for example,
yeah, continue.
if for example, like taking care about yourself first, like if a woman in the family would care about how she feel and how she look, just to be beautiful for her husband and comfortable on her own, because it helps her to just to feel herself as a woman, that will be a self-love.
Yeah.
If she would spend half of the day in front of the mirror putting a makeup on while her kids are hungry and her husband just, I don't know, like, you wait while I put on my makeup.
Yeah.
That's selfishness.
That's selfishness. Exactly.
And for men, it's like, if you get to the, I don't know, public transportations, it often happens that, especially in Asia, when they have a little different rules, you get to a subway and guys would sit and they're like all over the places, like take 2 seats everywhere, and the women stand.
Yeah.
That's selfishness.
Yeah, exactly.
When you sit, you take a spot and you help someone to sit to. That's, self-love. You care about yourself, but you also help others to be there. And
Yeah.
if you can leave the space for another woman or the elder,
Definitely.
that's caring about that.
Yeah. And I think that's caring about yourself as well. You're you're actually grooming yourself as well by giving a space to an elderly person. You're actually building up some values for yourself. So it's not like helping others. By helping others, you're actually helping yourself. I believe, it's not possible for me to love anyone if I do not know how to love myself. So how can someone claim that I love my family if I don't love myself there? So I don't think so. That sounds like selfishness.
Absolutely. And there's an interesting question someone wrote. Javaria. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I apologize. I'm
Yeah,
not sure how
Javeria.
to pronounce your name
No, no,
correctly.
yeah,
So
that's correct.
what are the
Javeria.
elements? What are the elements which help us to know we are self-aware or not?
Yeah,
It's seeing when it feels like something is not right, uncomfortable, unhappy. That's a good starting point. And for everyone who is there, I wish I would see you, but even if I don't see you, let's try to do a simple exercise together. So you will feel it and understand this principle more of self-love and like where it feels uncomfortable. So for all of you, I want you to take a deep breath and stop breathing. Don't breathe. I'm breathing just because I'm talking to you. Don't breathe. Don't
okay.
breathe. For how long can you hold without breathing?
Okay, I gave up.
There's just a third. Yes, you did a good job, Tamina. This is just the similar concept with taking. When you take, you hold on yourself. It distracts you.
Yes, true.
For a certain point, it's okay. Yeah, you need to breathe.
Yeah.
But when you just hold everything in yourself, it starts feeling uncomfortable inside. And now let's do the opposite. Let's just breathe out and don't breathe in.
Okay. Okay, same.
Don't breathe. You gave up too fast. Come on. So
Okay.
what
Okay.
about
Let's
your
have
life?
someone else. Oh, let's have someone else on the screen. What do you say? So, is there a participant willing to, do the same exercise that Marina has given us to breathe out? Please raise your hand. Yeah. Anybody here?
Someone said, I gave up long time ago.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the whole point. So when you
Yeah.
like
True.
breathe out, you give, and then you're like, that's it, you burn out.
Yeah.
Many people ask like, how can I recover after burning out? One of my first questions would be, how do you recharge yourself?
Yeah.
Like there's some communities, some religions say like serve others. You serve, but you need to know who you serve. There are people who will take, like we just done. They take, but they don't give back.
Yeah.
There's a certain point when you give, but you need to know that you need to recharge yourself.
Yeah.
And again, when you take, let's say in the relationship, you take the care and love, but if you don't give, another person will feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
The relationship will be broken. There will be problems.
True.
So when it starts feeling uncomfortable, that's the point when you start thinking, okay, why is that? What do I feel? What do I want to feel? What can you do with this?
Yes. So I would like to add something here, Marina, that gave me some thoughts when you told it very well. I remember times when I used to claim myself as the self-sacrificing, selfless person, but later I realized that if that was actually true, I don't think so that was actually true. Because I was hiding the fact that I wanted to make those sacrifices only because I wanted others to love me. So most of the time, we are acting to be selfless and sacrificing ourselves only to get love from the others. So I don't think so I can call that selfless now. It was quite a big pill to gulp down when I realized that actually I was doing that all to make myself happy, to get love. Because maybe they love me better if I did things out of, by calling myself selfless. So there are a lot of people there who, like me, still do, things out of good faith, considering that it's out of good faith. But deep down, we are doing those things to get love, to get loved. And that's the reason, because we are not loving ourselves. We're depending on others to give that love to us. So, what do you think, Marina? That
Absolutely.
should how a person can love him or herself by not depending on others, which is the more reliable and independent method, by getting love from others or loving yourself?
Absolutely. And it's one of the important parts of self-awareness.
Yeah.
To understand what you need to feel that love, the connection, or the meaning, why there's so many depressions, especially during pandemic,
Yes.
and suicides and everything.
Yeah.
People get together, but they don't know how to communicate with themselves, with the people around, and with themselves too. They don't know what they want.
Yeah.
So before you go out and start pleasing or serving too much, or just trying to, with any other options, try to get that love and attention, even for for rich people, why people get famous, they want to get that love.
Exactly.
So look at yourself. What makes you happy? What makes you feel loved? I would recommend to read a book, 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. It's an amazing book which shares that everybody loves in 5 different ways.
Yeah.
And for someone, that can be the acts of service. Like,
so, Marina, let me type the name of the book here. Can you repeat it?
5 Love Languages
5 Love Languages
by Gary Chapman.
Yeah, so it will help the audience. Yeah, so continue.
Mm-hmm. So we love and we receive love in 5 different ways. For someone, it can be acts of service, helping others, and when someone helps you. Let's say you wake up in the morning, and the best thing which can happen to you, someone would bring you breakfast in the bed, or coffee.
Or a coffee.
That would be an amazing thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Or it's just an example. Like when someone do things for you. Another way, another love language is the quality time. When someone would sit with you and spend either listen to you or talk to you, but only with you. It's not like someone watched TV and another person tried to talk.
Yeah.
That's not a quality time. But the person watching TV may say, "But I'm listening to you." You're watching
Yes.
TV.
Yeah, we are busy in texting or in the mobile, and we are saying that I'm listening, don't worry, I'm listening.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but people need your attention.
Yeah.
Another love language is physical touch. And often guys like, "Oh, this is my language, I love touching and I want people to touch me." But that's not. This is a small thing. Sometimes, like, it also feels, especially in the pandemic when people are apart, someone wants a hug.
Yeah.
Or if you are a leader in a company, like just patting on the shoulder your employee.
Yeah, you did a good work.
Yeah, you did a good work. So you see, you give a physical touch. You did a good work. They may not recognize that this is their love language, one of their love languages, but it will feel good. And when you also like say, oh, you did a good job, you use the fourth love language, which is words of affirmations.
Yeah.
Saying good things. Like, Tigmina, you look so beautiful today.
Yeah.
You're
And it makes
amazing.
me happy.
You see? Who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
it's your primary love language.
Exactly.
And everybody has all five, but there's just one or two which makes you feel more loved, more happy.
Yeah. The
And
more
the fourth
impactful.
one, yeah, absolutely. So we got words of affirmations, physical touch, quality time, acts of service, and gifts, receiving and giving gifts.
Yes.
So when you give something, this even the small thing, like a chocolate. If I would visit Tikmina, I would bring either chocolate or cookies, and she would be like, "Oh wow, you made my
That's so
day."
wonderful. Yes.
So that means your love language is receiving and giving gifts.
Yeah.
And
So
this is the important thing.
I'm thinking I have all five of them.
No, everybody has all five.
Yeah.
But one or two often are primary.
Yeah.
Like it's like especially
Yes. Yeah.
important. Like you can give me many gifts. I like gifts, but that's not my primary love language.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
It doesn't fulfill you, you know. There's something that fulfills you.
It will make me happy.
Yeah.
But I'll
But
be
the
like, it's
primary
nice
love
to do.
language will fulfill you. It makes you complete. It gives you the meaning, you know.
I'll give you another example. If
Yeah.
you give a gift to my sister, you will see her in heaven. She's like,
Yeah.
wow, so many gifts. This is her primary love language.
Yeah.
She loves that. So this is the difference.
Yeah, this
And
is the
we
difference.
often give what we want to receive.
Yeah.
So here, when we talk about self-awareness and feeling happy, you may also think like, what do you do for others more often?
Yeah.
Maybe you serve others. Maybe you're a good listener. So if you serve, maybe. I'm not saying that it's like 100%, but often if you serve others more than other love languages, that's what your emotional language is.
Yeah.
The primary.
That's a very
If,
good
let's
way
say-
to identify, I must say. It's a good way,
Yeah.
you know. It's a good
Yeah.
tech.
Like good listeners are often in quality time.
Mm-hmm.
The gifts, maybe think about your surrounding. Maybe someone gives you gifts, small things all the time. Then probably for that person, receiving gifts is their love language, their emotional
Yeah.
language.
Yeah.
Like we talk about love languages, and Gary Chapman often talks about the relationship, but you can think about it as an emotional language.
Yes.
You want to feel that happiness and meaningful, to be meaningful, and like all these good feelings.
Yeah.
Don't feel lonely.
Yeah, I
Feel
think
that-
the same. You know,
Yeah.
self-awareness makes life easier, and it's just about being honest with yourself. And the more honest you are with yourself, the more easier your life will be.
Absolutely. And it starts with you. Everything, all the changes, all your happiness, all the emotions, it starts with you.
Yeah. So, Marina, let's take this discussion a step higher. What do you think that how an individual can embark on the journey of self-awareness? I mean, most of the individuals fear from, realizing what they actually feel and keep on hiding those things, no matter how uncomfortable they might be feeling by suppressing those emotions. But still they fear. They don't want to look inside themselves. So what do you think? What should they do if they don't know and they still want to feel better? So how can an individual embark on the journey of self-awareness?
And there's an interesting question. I think it's also like comes to what you just said. We keep claiming we love others, but exactly we don't even know how to love ourselves.
Yeah.
So what we just talked about, like understanding what makes you happy. What do you do to make others happy?
Yeah.
When you start feeling like recognizing that about yourself, where like what makes you feel loved and connected to the world, which I talked about before, where you can't say no or where you need to say yes. Those are the problems of the boundaries. like those small things, every time you notice that, you can even put the notes. So start collecting those things, and from very beginning, if you've never done it before, it's just like you in the beginning of the journey, understanding how things work in your life, just put them together and you will start seeing repeating things. And from there, you start seeing how you can manage that. Then there will be your question. Okay, if I, for example, I like serving others.
Yeah.
And then like, because there's so many people that they give, they serve, and this is what society teaches, and this is, let's say, your primary emotional language, you start giving that. How you can receive that? Maybe you can ask someone about it.
Yes.
Think me now, could you please help me to, I don't know, to prepare the beautiful presentation for this event?
Yeah.
And if she's done a beautiful work here, that's her work. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you,
So,
Samir.
for me, if that will be my primary love language, that will be like, wow, she helped me. And I could simply ask about that. But you need to know what to ask for.
Yeah.
If your husband or wife doesn't help you in the house or in some particular work, you can ask.
Yeah.
Oh, can you help me there, please? And there's a trick for women. I don't know how many women we have here, how many men. If you want a man, and guys, shh, that will be a big secret for you.
Yes.
So don't listen that much. So if a woman wants a man to help her somehow, what she could do? Himena, what do you think? What she can do?
Let me guess. She can just ask, bat her eyes and say it.
She can, but when there's a situation, like, can you finally help me with cleaning the house?
Yeah.
You can ask, but that way he'll be like, are you kidding me? I'm watching TV.
Yeah, that can happen too. But I said bat her eyes as well,
Yeah, but
look lovely and then ask. Look lovely and then ask, can you help me?
That's an option. Yes. Can you help me? That's an option. But there's another way. You can ask about the advice. There's so much, it's so dirty here. How do you think I can handle everything and before we spend time with you?
Yeah.
Especially like a personal time with you, and you touch on the something that important to him.
So there's an incentive in it.
So like you're getting him involved and you ask about the advice. So he slowly gets to that idea that maybe we can do it together. Let's finish everything quickly and then we'll do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Yeah, the simple things.
Yes, it's simple. So, I think the main thing stopping us from realizing that a change is possible in us is our instinct, which is too polluted by the surrounding voices constantly telling us that the life is supposed to be lived in a misery. Like, I have a question here, and I would like to ask that here. How to know we are honest with us if our mind is keeping on telling lies? How to differentiate? So these are the lies that are not actually lies. Those are the voices surrounding us. The voices of the people around us that keep on telling us that life is miserable, you shouldn't be happy. So the constant assurances that I have never seen anyone happy with what she has. So isn't it human nature to never be happy with what one has? No one is happy. So how is it possible for me to be happy? Well, now I would like to differ here. It was not supposed to be human nature, but because we evolved into it. It wasn't our nature. We evolved into this human being that is never going to be happy. So to live the dream of a happy life, yes, it's everyone's dream to live a happy life. So Marina, what is your experience so far? Do you think that living a happy life is actually a dream? Or it's the voices around us constantly telling and nagging that no, a happy life is not possible. The world is like that.
Well, taking your words, let me get back to the very beginning, which I said. The self-awareness is understanding yourself. If you blame something else, someone, something, circumstances, it's time in this situation is another sign to think about yourself.
Yeah.
Everything starts with you. So I would like to kind of think with the audience, with our guests here. Put it in chat. What do you think happiness is? What is that?
Yeah.
Before I
Good
answer your
question.
question.
Yeah. So please, everyone, write in the chat box, what do you think happiness is? For you, obviously. It will vary from individual to individual.
Self-satisfaction.
Yeah.
So to make happy others. This is what we talk about. When you try to make others happy, what you actually do, you want to be happy. You give
what
because
you
you want
need.
to receive.
Yeah, true. Yeah, as I said
Helping
earlier,
others.
that previously I knew that I was, doing things for others because I wanted love. I did things to make them happy, but actually I wanted myself to be happy. So that's a very good point here, Marina, that you have raised. That a very good thing to understand yourself is to see and point out the things you're doing for others. Those are the weaknesses, those are the emptiness that you have.
Yeah. So keep me connected, happy with me, I guess.
Mhm.
Getting acknowledged of
Getting acknowledged.
So
Constant praise, I guess.
Happiness. Tikmina, what do you usually say when you experience happiness?
Yeah.
How would you phrase that?
Yeah. So if I talk about happiness, I would say that happiness has many forms.
No.
A simple.
If I would say you just experience happiness, what would you say? You want
I'm
to
happy.
you want to tell you're happy.
Yeah. I would tell everyone, you see, I'm so happy today.
Yes. Because what? You feel happy.
Yeah.
Happiness is a feeling. And who decides what you feel? What do you think, guys and girls in the chat?
Yeah.
Who decides who is happy or who's not happy? What feelings to choose? Yeah, we decide. Yourself.
Yeah.
You decide.
But most of the times we give this authority to the others, to the people around us.
Absolutely.
Our happiness depends on their happiness.
So your feelings depends on the way you think.
Yeah, true.
So happiness is just the result of the thought which you put in that. So when you feel I'm not happy, babies born, they're happy.
Exactly.
Yes, they want to eat, they want to poo, they want to do all sorts of things, but they don't feel like
still happy.
I'm happy today. Yes.
Yes.
My mom just did something wrong. I'm not happy today. They don't care about it.
Yes, true. Very true.
You're the one who chooses this emotion.
Yeah, that's a very good example, Marina. That's a proof that humans are not born to be unhappy. Because if it was like that, it was in their nature, then babies were going to be unhappy at all the times, but they're not. So that's a very good example, Marina.
And you can choose that. Let me give you an example on this. Like, imagine the situation when you argue with someone, or you're angry, or you experience those sad emotions, like something bad, and then someone important is passing by, and you're like, yeah, life is good. Or like a wife and a husband, or boyfriend and girlfriend, the conversation, and a boyfriend like, what happened? Nothing. And she pretends that nothing happened, but inside she's like, everything.
Yeah.
She chooses
suppression of emotions.
Feel and behave.
Yeah.
It's difficult to control. I admit that. But
True.
you can choose how you react and how you feel, actually. And you can kind of cool down those negative emotions if you would need to talk to your boss or your employees or someone where you need to be, like more calm and focused or just more happy.
Yeah,
And
we
this
have a
is a difficult thing.
yeah, we have a question here by Mavish Javed. She's asking that how can we overcome on our emotion when we can't be the slave of our emotions? Okay, we can't be the slave of our emotions. So she does know that means, but she doesn't know how to control her emotions. So any tip or trick there?
Start with recognizing them.
Yes.
So any emotions, as we just talked, they come from the thought. And this is the one of the most difficult parts, to recognize what was the thought before you experience that emotion. Something triggered that. It's not that you suddenly, that's it, I don't like this webinar, that's it, I'm mad.
I'm mad.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Something I supposed to think about probably, or something was happening in my life. It doesn't necessarily relate to this specific situation, but it could be in the back of my mind for a long time. If you need to work hard to earn money for your family, it's tiring, it's exhausting, you don't have time for yourself, you don't feel loved, you don't feel that care, you don't care about yourself, what do you want? You will just express that tiredness on everything and everyone, and they will be like, what's going on with her or with him? They will think that maybe it's their fault, or maybe the current situation, but that's something that stayed with you for such a long time. So when the something triggered that, you're like, boo, explode with all your emotions.
Yeah. And then we blame it on to the others. It was your fault that I blown up.
Of course.
Yeah.
So start, every time this happens, every time you feel negative emotions, why? Ask yourself, what happened? Why I feel that way? Or if anything, you are not satisfied in life, which is like, does not feel balanced and connected with, like you want it to be. And this is another thing, you may get upset or feel negative emotions when you want something for a long time. Your mind is there, and the longer it is, the more you want it, because you give all your energy or your thoughts there. You don't realize it in the real life, but you spend so much time on the specific subject, situation, or anything, and when you don't get it, what do you feel? Again, imagine a baby. If someone would just show a toy in front of a kid, very short, he or she would be, whoa!
Yeah. So we give a similar response.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We get used to hold everything in ourselves.
Yeah. So what can be the reason, why most of us do not feel comfortable sharing our feelings with others? We feel a little bit insecure.
Yeah. But my question to you then will be, are you comfortable to share these feelings with yourself?
Yeah, true.
When I coach people, and this is, we do the deep work, we get a little bit, not even a little bit, more insight.
Yeah.
So you can achieve a lot of things when you're willing to look at yourself and use your talents, your capabilities to achieve that.
Yes.
There are two most difficult questions for them. What do you want and what do you feel?
Yeah.
And what can happen? What do you want? I want a peace in the world.
Yeah,
I want to
exactly.
have a lot of money. You don't want.
Yeah.
You want to feel loved. I know that.
Yes.
You don't
Everybody
know that
does. That's a common feeling.
Yeah, but what makes you feel loved? What do you want? Sometimes maybe you want to have something. You want to experience something. Usually those are small things. And with all small things, it's okay to want to have more money, but you need money for something. So
to get more love.
Why you need.
Yeah, most of the time.
Maybe, or maybe that specific experience with your family.
Yeah.
when you feel this excitement to
Yeah.
share those moments with others. So actually, you don't want that money, you want that experience.
Yes.
And this can shift. And another one, what do you feel? So if I ask you, what do you feel? Oftentimes people, oh, that was situation where people did that way and it wasn't good. But what do you feel?
Yeah.
Oh, let me give you another example. No, very simple. I feel lonely. I feel rejected.
Yeah.
I feel disconnected.
Yeah.
So every feeling has a cure. If you feel lonely, or you feel lonely or you feel alone, that can
Yeah.
be a distinction here
Yes.
too.
Definitely.
And you can feel lonely even surrounded by a crowd of people.
Exactly.
So once you recognize that feeling, once you name that in the correct way and not blaming others, okay, if I feel lonely or alone, who can you want the connection? It's like right
Yes.
away, you want the connection with some specific people. Who can you start connecting with or contacting with? Maybe you need a conversation. Like
Yeah.
if you feel lonely, right now in the pandemic, so many people get stuck at home. Even if you're with your family, you need a little bit of more the conversations and connections.
Yeah.
Who can you reach out to?
Yeah,
Take
that's
this step.
that's the point there, that most of the times you don't you feel the need to connect, but you don't connect from the fear of being judged. That someone here just suggested, Afaq, if we have fear to be judged, how we can share how we feel? So I think that's one of the reasons that people don't share their emotions with others. What do you think?
Absolutely. Well, but sometimes you need to learn to share these emotions. Sometimes you also need to listen.
Yeah.
If I will come to you, Tikmira, I don't know, I feel bad, it
Yeah.
doesn't work, and I come to you all the time and pour all of this on you, you'll be
Yeah.
like, yeah, first time it's be, oh, poor Marina, the
Yeah.
second time, oh, poor Marina, the third time, wait a little bit, what have you done with this?
Yes.
I can be with you, but if you will be all the time when someone comes to you and just pour all this negativity on you, like they don't do anything with their situation. What have
Yeah.
you done with this?
Yes.
Listen to others. Compassion, of course, you need to have empathy. But then the person also needs to do something with his or her life.
Yeah.
Is there anything I can help you? Maybe there's a small support which you can give to a person, and yeah, his or her
Yeah.
life would be changed.
Yeah. Exactly.
But again, that person needs to articulate that, and you need to
Yeah.
articulate. If someone, there's so many people who are willing to help and
Yeah.
give you the support.
And you just have to ask first.
Yeah. The sad thing, it may be not your surrounding, people who you think about. Because if
Yeah.
they did not give you love for so many years and connection and everything, look for someone else.
Yeah. True. Very true.
They just don't see it. And especially like with the close families and friends,
Yeah.
if you told them about it, express your feelings several times already, or maybe many times, and they did not react as you expect, you either talk to them or you just find another friend.
Yeah.
As difficult as it sounds, but everybody is at home now.
Yeah.
Most people spend time at home and they don't connect that much. It's a big opportunity to go
Yeah.
and meet with people and build new connections.
Yeah. As you said, earlier, that get rejected, 100 times, but finally you are going to get the support from somewhere, from someone. But you can't expect anything from someone if you're not asking them. So it's a certainty, if you're not asking someone, then it means you're not getting help at all. Till the day you die, you're not going to get any help. But if you're asking someone, you might get rejected once, twice, thrice, but at the end you will be getting that help. So the key point
Absolutely.
I think the audience should get here from Marina is that you should ask for help. Right, Marina?
Absolutely. And if you need it, but don't rely on that as your only source of happiness
Yeah.
and like for your fulfillment. Take
Yes.
care about yourself first. This is the exercise which we've done about in the beginning, like
Yeah.
breathing, taking things and giving away. You take care about yourself first. If you feel sad, angry, unhappy, start writing the list. Like, think about what made you happy. Maybe watching a movie. Maybe having a piece of chocolate.
Yeah.
Maybe walk on the nature.
Yeah.
Maybe just a communication, the conversation with someone. Maybe a workout, like physical exercise.
Yeah.
It's just a sign. They activate different chemicals in your brain, in your body. It brings you this happy feeling
Yeah.
after you
True.
do
Very true.
workout.
Yes. Seriously. So that's how. That's the answer to the question asked by Afaq. That why we always need others. Why can't we be sufficient for us? Well, we can be sufficient for us, but you have to try there. So actually, you can't be sufficient for yourself if you're not trying. You have to try to be sufficient for yourself by doing those little acts that Marina just mentioned. Go watch a movie, go for a walk, do anything that you love to do for yourself, and you'll feel happy.
Little by little. If you're like, imagine a glass.
Yeah.
If you have something there, like your happiness, your fulfillment, it's good. You need a little more to fill it. If you're empty and you, let's say, went for a walk and you added a little bit and you feel a little better, you will feel a little better. It's not enough to fill your cup of your inner spirit, that feelings.
Yeah.
You need to do it more.
Yeah.
For yourself first. Take care about yourself. You take care about yourself. Like those external helps, these external factors, they help you to feel yourself, but there shouldn't be your main source.
Yeah.
We again come back to self-awareness. What makes you happy?
Yeah. So most of the times we don't even know that what makes us happy. So that's one of the reasons that an individual cannot embark on the journey of self-awareness as long as that individual doesn't know what makes her or himself happy.
There's an interesting kind of the question or the sentence. Our biggest challenge to happiness is when we let down the expectations of those whom we love.
Yeah.
The expectation is the wish which wasn't met.
Yeah.
Or a need or wish which wasn't met. And if you expect others to make you happy, people are not gonna do that.
Yeah.
They're also not that happy. Like many people are not that happy themselves.
Yeah.
There are people they share, of course, but that's not the source of your happiness all the time.
It's not a constant source of happiness. Getting things from others, expecting things from others is not going to make you happy for the rest of your life. The most independent and the reliable source of happiness is what you get from yourself. Actually, that's what I believe.
If there's another interesting question. If we have fear to be judged, how we can share how we feel?
Yeah.
There are two parts. I would talk about this with a person, but just like, I'll give you a little more general answer to that. We'll talk a little more general of that. If we have fear of to be judged, this is one part.
Yeah.
This is your thing. You need to deal with this. A fear of to be judged is a lack of love. You want to feel loved and accepted. Shh, I'm not going to tell it to anyone.
Yeah.
I just leave it to you. But I'm just give you a little like teaser, spoiler that this is what's happening. If you're afraid to be judged, if you're afraid to be rejected, you're searching for the approval. This is a difficult thing. It often comes to your like early ages, early education, childhood, where the society put the norms that you have to behave this way. If you do it in the wrong way, then something will happen, something bad for you. It's good to do a deep work and find what was the source, but if not, like learn, if you have a situation, because if you're afraid to be judged, more likely it happens in many areas of your life. So think about the situation where you're afraid to be judged, and think about like the biggest fear, and think about other situations where you can be judged, and pick the smaller one and see how you can kind of get more of that experience, so you will get used to that.
Yes.
And you will feel that first, it's not that scary as it looks like. Second, maybe people will not judge you. So it's like playing a little safe and practicing, developing this muscle. If you will go to a gym and you do all kinds of exercises for a day, next time you'll feel like you're almost dead, lying on the bed, because it was too much.
Yeah, that was too much.
Oh, it was like,
Yeah.
if you get to your situation when you feel judged and rejected, then of course you'll be like destroyed. If you get into that, and if people are like, yes, this is not that how it looks like, you did the wrong thing, and blah blah blah, of course you'll get hurt.
Yes, but you have to silence those voices, filter them.
You don't start silence them. If it happens, for many people it's the deep voice. You start noticing them and separate yourself from them.
Yes. When you start rationalizing those voices, you keep them in your rational mind, give it to their wiser mind, then it makes less impact on you. It stops hurting you at some point of time. So you have to keep on practices.
Exactly. And then the second part, how we can share how we feel.
Yeah.
Start in different situations. Don't get to the most painful one.
Yeah.
When I was a kid,
that would be a turn down.
When I was a kid, there was it's a terrible way of teaching kids to swim, and adults had fun. They would take a kid on the middle of the pond and just drop.
Yeah.
And you have to learn to swim and survive. It's shock. Yeah. Sometimes kids are so afraid of water after that.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's traumatic.
Yes.
Don't do this.
Don't do this.
Don't do it with yourself. Yeah, start with the more safe situations so you will feel more comfortable and safe there. And if you have a chance, do a deeper work with you. And then there is another question: why we always need others? Why can't we be sufficient for us? We get used to that. You train that way.
Yeah.
Maybe not on purpose. Our parents, teachers, they don't realize how it affected us. Everyone.
Yes.
Everyone got affected in some ways. Someone more, someone less. And when you're a kid, till 8 years old, about 8 years old, a kid they don't have analytical thinking. So now you're like, okay, this is bad for me, this is good for me.
Yeah.
I'm choosing what's good for me. Till this, about 8 years old, whatever you say to a kid, and be very careful if you have kids.
Exactly.
Whatever you say, a kid believes.
Yeah.
So if you're like a joke, oh, you're so stupid, you can do this thing, they believe.
They believe.
It's funny for parents. It's a small thing.
Yeah.
I just made a joke. But they believe.
Yeah. And they believe it with all their heart. So they're not going to forget that even when they're adults. But I think when you're an adult, you have that responsibility to question those beliefs that you had built when you were 8 years old. Because by questioning yourself, by questioning your beliefs, you're going to, may put them in your rational mind. Then you will be able to question them, that whether those beliefs were right or wrong. And that, I guess, is your first stage of self-awareness. So there's another question here by Javeria. If we are disconnected with our emotions, how we know that what we actually felt? So that's a kind of related to something Marina said at the beginning of our session, that most of the times you do not feel the need because you don't know what you're actually feeling. Right, Marina?
Absolutely. Because you didn't get used to look at your emotions. You did not get used to analyze why you feel that way, why you feel sad today, why you feel unhappy. And if you feel unhappy, maybe you felt unhappy for years. It's a habit. It's your state of being to be unhappy, or it's state of being to expect something happening in your life. It's not happening. So once you start noticing those things, like, okay, maybe from the beginning you won't know what to do with that, but even noticing that, it's already a big step. And then you will find, like, that would be the question, like, how can I connect back with my emotions, with myself, and develop those feelings which you want to feel.
Yeah. So let's have some closing remarks now, as it's time to move on now. So what are you going to advise our participants here, Marina?
So to summarize everything, there are a few things. First, find that book. If you're really curious about the emotions, find that book, 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman, and read it. And this is an important thing. Read it with the perspective why I feel what I feel. What is my love language, and why I have that love language, that emotional language. Because there is often a reason for that. So if, let's say, the acts of service is your main emotional language, then maybe you saw your parents doing that, or maybe you did not get it in your family and you feel lack of this. Or maybe the physical touch is your main love language, main emotional language, and maybe you so much wanted to have a hug from your parents, but they didn't give it to you. So now when you're an adult, you will want that. Letting people are very, very touchy. I had a letting friend, and every time he's a male, he would see me, he was like, oh, all over me. I'm like, what are you gonna do with me? Get out of me. It's like, it's way too much. You're not my boyfriend, you're just a friend. And he didn't mean anything, but it was in his family and his culture. And the small things will help you to understand yourself. So first, understand what is your emotional language, the primary emotional language. And then after that, think about, like, look at your experience and different emotions you have, and just write down what does not feel right and how would you want to feel in those situations. Because when you recognize what does not feel right, from there, the next, how do you want to feel, and why it happened in the beginning.
Yeah, it's all
like
connected.
Why it's not like you want to. So those are two things would be like a good start in understanding yourself.
Yeah, it's all connected there, and you will reach somewhere. I can assure you about that what Marina told just, if you follow that, you're going to reach somewhere. You're going to know a little bit about yourself. So I'm going to add something here, that we would love to know if you find out your love language, and I'm sure you're going to find out what is your love language. So keep us updated there. So post us and let us know what is your love language whenever you find it. So Marina, is there anything else you would like to share here?
Well, thank you. If you want to connect, you can find more about me on marinabarayeva.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn and connect and ask any questions you have about this. Also, just search for Marina Barayeva. I'll type it. I'll type it in the chat.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. It was so interesting conversation. Thank you so much for your questions, for your input. And Mina, you were awesome host. Thank you so much for organizing that.
Thank you, Marina. Same here. It was really nice to have you here with us, and our audience would have, I can see they loved the session that you have connected with me, and it was a great insightful session. So it's really nice to have you all with us, and we would be ending here and looking forward to meet you again in our next session. So bye-bye for now. Thank you, Marina, again. It was really awesome being with you.